caravan of about 200 migrants from Central America has arrived at the U.S.-Mexico border in San Diego. A few have begun applying for asylum, but President Trump and Attorney General Jeff Sessions have voiced strong opposition to this. Here to talk about this is Travis County GOP Chairman Matt Mackowiak and Glenn Smith from Progress, Texas. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
President Trump has called these asylum seekers a threat to the U.S. Matt, how do you feel about that comment?
Well, I don't know that I'd use that language necessarily. I do sympathize with the frustration the president has about the real lack of focus that you see from Congress as it relates to border security, as it relates to interior enforcement. He and his Attorney General and his Homeland Security Secretary seem to be almost the only people who are focused on securing the border. That said, I am sympathetic to the plight of any person that would want to cross the entire country of Mexico to come here. I'm sure these people are living in desperate circumstances, but fundamentally we have immigration laws. There is a process for applying for asylum in the United States. I think it's one of the great things about America that we offer asylum in very limited but specific circumstances. But you know, I don't know all the specifics of every case here for all these people that are in this caravan. It seems to me these are people that are trying to enter illegally. If there's information that is included that shows that there's some other reason why they're trying to enter, that information needs to be considered.
Glenn, does letting these migrants into the country undermine laws, as Jeff Sessions has said?
Well, not if they're screened as they've applied. I think they've let 8 in so far. The others are having to wait in Mexico, but 8 have applied formally for asylum as refugees from violence. And I think that is the process. They're heavily screened, heavily vetted, super vetted, you might say. I agree with Matt. I have a lot of sympathy for people that are fleeing violence in Central America. They're certainly not coming here to create violence. That's what they're leaving behind. The important news in this event is that they were stopped. I'm afraid 11 from somewhere, don't really know if it's part of this caravan. 11 were apprehended nearby trying to cross illegally, but the great numbers of these were stopped at the border and are being checked as the process requires. So there's no emergency. The process is working. Border security is working. It's something to brag about, and not worry or fret or be fearful of.
Matt, does this influx prove the point that the Trump administration is hammering, that we need a border wall? Again, most of these people are on the Mexico side right now.
Yeah, and look, I think realistically speaking, we're not going to see a border wall across the entire southern border. I think what makes a lot more sense is to have a border wall in the urban areas. We saw a border wall go up in San Diego 10 or 15 years ago, and you saw illegal border crossings go down fairly quickly. And so I think in the busiest sectors, a border wall makes sense, and I think that's what the president is pushing for. I agree with Glenn that if these folks were apprehended at the border, then the system is working. Perhaps the National Guard is part of that. One of the things we've learned in the last 30 to 60 days is that the United States and Mexico are cooperating on intelligence inside Mexico, and I think that's important. Clearly, this caravan was a large operation. It would not have been impossible for the United States to interdict these individuals coming in a caravan. What you worry more about is someone coming across a porous border and coming into the country to do harm.
All right, we are running out of time, but Glenn, final thoughts.
Well, I hope that we'll be reasonable, and I agree with Matt on this, that well, we've had walls in South Texas in the urban areas. I myself have camped a lot and walked a lot in the Big Bend area. Let me tell you, anybody that can make it across that area sneaking in from Mexico, we ought to allow in as some sort of physical hero. People die out there when they try to do it, so I'm with him on the urban area protections.
Okay. Glenn, Matt, thank you both for sharing your perspectives with us tonight.
Thanks.